empowerment. The ability to grow and expand beyond what you think you can be and what you are currently. The ability to make a bigger influence of who and what you are for your family, for your friends, for the world around you, socially, all those types of things. The empowerment, I think it encompasses a whole lot about experiencing a purpose-filled life. All in favor say aye?
Aye.
Okay. So I want to give you a few steps that may be helpful for you in living a purpose-filled life. Okay? They are seemingly short, but a couple of these may take some serious thought. Number one, you need to decide which means to cut off, decide, to cut, to really make a strong implant, a decision. Maybe burn the bridge behind, whatever it is that needs you to decide. Decide what you really want. That doesn't have to be one thing. It does not have to be one thing. You have to decide what it is you want to do.
Only thing I'm not getting sound. Okay, so from the
as a sub-portion, you can put goals in here. What are the things that really matter? Does it really matter to you that you have an awesome relationship with your granddaughter or that your dishes get done?
Yeah.
And yet sometimes doing the dishes is more important to you than doing something that could increase that relationship with the granddaughter. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay? You need to decide what you really want, because if you don't, you may find yourself doing dishes for the rest of your life. Okay? So you've got to decide what you really want and put these right goals with that. Number two, whatever this thing is, it darn sure better have some passion behind it. That when you think about it, when you talk about it, that somewhere in there you get lit up. That it has more interest to you in discussion than doing the dishes or taking out the garbage. That this thing, this concept, this whatever it is you want to do or accomplish has some energy in your soul behind it. That makes sense? So these are two key things that I think are huge for living a purpose-filled life. The third one on there, and this is now we're getting the nitty-gritty. The third one is you got to start your day. I know you are. Day. Looking at what it is that you want out of your purpose-filled life. I don't care if you're taking 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 or 30. I mean, a little bit more is better than a little bit less. But you stick whatever your major goals are. I like to pick 10 major goals every year that I want to get done. No matter what, I don't want this year to go by without having those 10 major goals done. There's a whole heck of a lot that can get in the way every year. I'll tell you that. But sit there and look, how am I going to get those goals done? What are the things that I've decided that I would feel more empowered because I had accomplished? When you start your day, what can I do today to do something that leads me towards this purpose-filled life? Does this make sense? Start your day looking at it every single day. Make a list out of it. Brainstorm. You might have 20 things on there, but I'm going to encourage you to pick 3 on that list that you're going to get done that day. Because life gets in the way. We do have to do dishes. Write this down. Do one thing on your list before 10 a.m. Do one thing on that list before 10 a.m. What are the 3 things that you say, it may be only a baby step towards whatever this thing is you want to accomplish. But as long as you're taking a step or 2 or 3 every day, you have a chance at getting to and reaching living a purpose-filled life. Yes?
Yes.
Take 1 step by 10 a.m. I'm going to ask you to take 3 steps a day. You got it? Okay. You've started your day. You have looking at your purpose-filled life. You have brainstormed. The things that will move you closer. The 5th one is you're going to brainstorm and you're going to do it. Write 10 a.m. in there. Do one of them before 10 a.m. 3. And the last one is part of a major portion of a success path towards a purpose-filled life is, boy, it goes up there. At the end of your day, ask yourself, what went right today? You take your hand up like this, right over here. We all need that. Give yourself a big hug. Because these things went right, and they were leading me towards my purpose-filled life. I made a call today to tell somebody about NECAN. They didn't say yes, but I made the call. Good job. Number 2 is, ask yourself, what didn't go so well? What didn't go well today? Maybe I did an appointment, it didn't go well. What could I have? I sure would like their appointments to go better than that. The third thing is, that's part of this daily end of your routine, what went right, what didn't go right, and the third one is, what could I do differently tomorrow when I encounter that same obstacle? So that you don't live the same mistake over and over and over. You play a new movie, and you know the script the next time you come across that obstacle. Because some of us keep living the same successes and the same failures over and over and over, right? So the last part on there, number 6, what went right? What went, I don't want to say wrong, but what was not good? And what can I do differently? My question for you is, if you were actually to do these 6 items, do you think you would come closer to living a purpose-filled life than you might be doing right now? All in favor say aye?
Aye.
And I would submit to you that this might be something worth considering as you leave. Thank you. How many of you would love to have a wildly successful weekend business? All in favor say aye. How many would like some ideas about how to change that and put it into overdrive? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
So start off. Many of you have done business in NECAN, out of NECAN. How did you start in the world? Did you start as an employee when you came to NECAN, or did you start as a business owner as you started as a NECAN?
I started as a business owner.
Excellent.
I had been an employee as a lawyer, but I was
Come this way.
on my own by the time I joined NECAN.
Keep going over. Keep going over.
I started as a business owner.
Okay.
I was an employee.
I was retired.
Okay. Excellent. Next question. Were your parents business owners or employees?
My parents, well, my mother was a stay-at-home mom because at that time women didn't really work, but my father was an employee.
Employees.
My father was an employee.
My father had his own physician practice, and my mom was an at-home mom.
Business owners and employees.
What would cause someone to pursue the potential insanity, that's how a lot of people look at it, of being a business owner? What was it that intrigued you about having your own business, having a NECAN business that caused you to say, man, I really want to try this out? Because some people go, man, I'm not going to do business. They give all these excuses about why having their own business would be a bad thing. So what intrigued you?
Well, I've been self-employed since I was 27, and I went to college knowing that I wanted to have my own psychotherapy practice. So I never planned to be an employee except a stepping stone. And when I saw the potential of this, that I could change lives and it not be nearly as complicated as my practice, I was in.
What I was most excited about was the vision of having freedom and keeping my discretion over my own time and making a difference in the world. So it was the whole package.
Coming in Anikin, actually, it was Shirley. Because Shirley is 76, and I'm going like, and so I'm 53, and I always had my hamstrings have always been tight, even doing martial arts. But this young lady right here is so loose until I said, in a good way. But she is so energetic. I said, I want to find out what is she using. And if she's using that, and if I use that right, this is going to be a good sale.
What intrigued me initially was products to help my dad. But the other piece of that was my dad was in Canada, and the fact that I could go home 4 or 5 times a year and not have to ask for time off and have my freedom was intriguing.
Well, I was raised, my father died at a very young age. I was in the 8th grade, so it was just my mother and I. And so I've always worked. I was a tool and die maker. Every time I changed jobs, I got a better job and made more money. So I went from tool and die maker to a vocational education teacher. Did that for 8 years. Dried up in Ohio, so I became a inspector in a large machine shop in Cloud Falls, which led me to another job in Barberton as a tool application engineer, which led me to a factory rep for another company. But one day, my wife and I've always had good jobs and always made good money. But we were sitting in church one Sunday, and our minister said that most people throughout their years has good jobs, takes care of their family, but they don't have a purpose. And we saw Deacon as a purpose.
All right. Give him a hand, give him a hand. What are the aspects of owning a traditional business? If you had ever thought about having a traditional business, not an econ business, but what are the aspects of owning a traditional business that you have feared in the past, worried about, tried to not want to deal with? Why did you ask me?
Well, as I see it as a traditional business, and I did do that for a while. When my son was in college, he needed a job, so maybe in a machine shop instructor and a tool and die maker by trade, I had a small shop of my own. So I did the business just so he'd have a summer job. But that was a lot of work. You had to go out and find the work, you had to make sure it got done, you had to collect all the bills, you had to do everything, make sure we got paid. That was a traditional business. In this business,
Oh, we're not there yet.
Oh.
Okay, so he was worried that it was going to be a lot of work. And it wasn't just one little thing I had to do, but I had to do all of it.
I never had thought about having my own business because I was in nursing for 30 years and never thought about a business, but if I thought about it now, the obstacles, oh my gosh, staffing, budgets, employees, lack of, all of the above would be horrible.
I was in janitorial service for about 24 years, and I had, I think I had like 30 Rite Aid stores, 18 at trade quarters, 8 7-Eleven stores. I had 2 clinics and physical therapy billing. We did homes, we did carpet, and I'd hired and fired people, and I'd hired and fired people, and I hired and fired people.
I'm guessing you really loved your employees.
I had a private family and nutrition counseling business, and the limitations were there were only so many hours in the week, and I couldn't really charge what I was worth, and it was very unfulfilling in that way. I knew I was helping people, but I couldn't build anything bigger.
Federal regulations and excess paperwork.
Okay, in the last 20 years, whether you're a consumer of businesses that are regulated or a business that is regulated, how many of you have seen a dramatic rise in the amount of paperwork / obstacles / I mean, just the last time you went to get a mortgage.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, piles. So one of the things I didn't want to deal with in business, did not want to deal with paperwork. Piles and piles of paperwork. I just, ugh. No way. So, what are the aspects of the Niken business model that intrigued you?
Well, I mean, in traditional business model, the person at the top, and I've been the owner of my company, you only make money by shortchanging basically the people at the bottom who do a lot of the grunt work. And that's just a traditional model. And in network marketing, it's the opposite. You know, it's big D, and I'm here, and I will never be any more successful than the number of people who I help to reach success.
I just fell in love with network marketing when I was in college, only I joined a group that sold knee-high stockings, and when mini skirts came in, that company disappeared. So I love the concept. I look at a lot of nutrition companies, but they were just Me Too companies. And Niken offered the ability to build a worldwide network that would never limit my time or my money.
Note to self, never join a company that can be eliminated with a fashion change.
So I'm here because when I got involved with Niken, what I had discovered was family. And I've never been in marketing too much, but it is the issue of family.
Tell them when you join, you can.
I joined Niken probably 2 months ago. Yeah.
He's already found family, isn't that? And you're all families. What was the question?
What intrigued you about the Niken business model?
Oh, the intriguing thing is the ability to do whatever we have anywhere I go and no limitations, and the ability to help so many people, but do it. I tell people I don't go after them Niken, but every time I go out, I do Niken, because there isn't any lack of people that need and have what we want. Need what we want. So it's intriguing that you can work by yourself, for yourself, with no budgets, no employees, no call-ins, all of that.
I like the fact that Niken does everything for you. All you have to do is present the product to people and then buy it, and that's it. But the other thing I liked was the tax advantages. We deduct 17.5% of everything because we use our home as a business. The other thing I liked was, since I retired, on Social Security, I could make as much money as I want. So I hired my wife as an employee. Business in my name, hired her as an employee. And she retired early, and of course her health care insurance was astronomical. So I paid all her fringe benefits. It's a tax deduction. So that's what I like about it.
Okay, what are the aspects of the Niken business model that were unknowns or outside of your comfort zone? The things that scared you about getting involved in this thing called network marketing or Niken?
Well, we didn't know anything about network marketing, so it was all scary. But we found out that we had some very good experiences with products, so all we had to do was share that. Because everybody has a problem. But a lot of people don't want you to know they have a problem. So by carefully asking many questions, they'll really tell you what's wrong. So you just go from there. Don't be in a hurry, just keep asking. We just had a customer that's been 3 years, 4 years, Becky.
Yeah.
That just placed a very large order because she's been wanting to place an order for 4 years. But because my wife has a very good follow-up system, keeps talk to people, text people, chats with people, got an order.
So the question was, what was outside the box, if you would, or whatever. Well, I knew nothing, about network marketing, didn't really know anybody that was in it, and didn't even think of it as that. I just loved and had such passion for the products. And therefore, I never thought of myself as trying to share, sell anything. I was just sharing. But so to me, there wasn't any big fears, and I learned so much. But the network marketing definitely was outside my zone.
So I concur with these two.
Yeah, I had always, in my legal practice and in my counseling practice, everybody came to me. And it was completely out of my comfort zone to be go out and marketing. I moved very quickly in my first year because I had very high credibility with my warm market. But then the idea of reaching out, talking to strangers, inviting them to learn what I was doing was a whole new experience and skill set.
It's ditto. 2 regional block franchises, people came to me. My counseling practice, people came to me. Going out and having to reach out to people I didn't know was way out of my comfort zone. And so I just did it, got over it.
Just did it. If you're not outgoing, can you learn to be outgoing? Yes. If you're not knowledgeable about how to demonstrate a magnet, can you learn how to?
Yes.
All these skills are learnable. Just decide you want to. What are the most rewarding aspects that you have found in building a business?
Well, I really love people and their stories, and it is the changes in the lives that the products and the business are touching, and the ability to empower people in all 5 pillars of health: mind, body, family, society, and finances.
Being a part of a team that knows how to change the world for the better and helping families one at a time to make it a better world, and having the kind of support you can give through a team like this.
So I joined a month ago, right? Okay, so on the 15th of this month, I went in my bank account and I had $400 and some in there. And I was, yes, so I found the woman.
That's the question.
Oh, we've got this great product. It's called Clarity.
And I forgot to take it this morning. What motivates me is this: the Shirleys finding somebody like this, and then the Dons, and then the Duans, whoever is in my team. He is 6th level to me. Okay, that excites me that somebody has reached out to somebody like this who has the passion, and see the other people, my Lisa, my Melanies, all of them having guests here today. That excites me because I see people being helped, and then in turn the business is helping my team. So that's what I love.
What excites me is a couple things. First of all, there's a great amount of people that will mentor you and answer your questions. And I don't, well, basically sometimes I get something out of it. They're in your upline, but where Sue and I have our business, we don't have a lot of immediate upline. Our closest mentor's in Georgia, so Gary Bolton. But what really excites me is Gary has taught us how to do online marketing. And last week we were going to Michigan to go on a 4-day fishing trip. And on the way up there, my wife gets a cell phone call on her thing, and I got to place about a $300 order. And just over the phone. So while we're there on Sunday, she gets 2 other orders. We had over $1,000 in volume points while we were fishing. Now that excites me.
All right, our final question. The NECAN business model encourages cooperative marketing rather than competitive marketing. I didn't understand before. A traditional business, I own sure, we'll go with a lumber store. If I own a lumber store and love a lumber store opens up in town, am I trying to help them be successful? No. Am I going to try to do everything I can to make sure that I am profitable and able to feed my family. So the traditional business model that's up there is set up to be a what type of marketing? Cooperative or competitive? Within a traditional business, in order for you to get promoted, you have to wait for the guy above you or gal to die, quit, or get fired. Is that a healthy position for them to be in? No. No. And then once they do die, quit, or get fired, how many people are applying for the job?
Everybody else.
Are you rooting for everybody else to get the job? Does this sound like a healthy atmosphere? No. So there's something different that takes place in Nikan that was mind-boggling to me. I call it cooperative marketing. What has been your experience? Have you seen cooperative marketing modeled in Nikan?
Well, definitely, yes. In fact, we're doing a big event this coming weekend in Gary Bolton, coming clear up from Georgia to spend 4 days with us. We're having a big event at Elaine Conley's Wellness Center. So we need people, we need people to do things like what's doing here. So we get on the phone. Elaine, will you do this? Yes. She don't even hesitate. We get the other Elaine from Pennsylvania. Will you do this? Yes. No hesitation. And these people are just cross-eyed to us. They're not making anything off of us. We're not making anything off of them. So it's the cooperation that you have, not only with your upline, but I call it your sideline.
Absolutely. Absolutely, this is a collaborative entrepreneurship, because Brody and I aren't in the same line. We're not in the same line. Well, none of us here are in the same line. But
Yes, we are.
Well,
Yeah.
guess what? We're all at Pando Street, right?
Yeah.
So the point being is that I can call any one of these or any one of you anytime, any week, and get help. And you can do the same with me. So it's definitely collaborative. There's no competition here. The more we help each other, the better the world's going to be, number one, the better Nikan's going to be, number two, and number three, you're going to get the rewards.
And I concur.
And there are 7 billion people in this world, and Nikan has a grand vision for making it a healthier world. So there's room for all of us to work together to help each other to make a difference in our lifetimes.
And we all work together, and our time is up.
My name is Richie Sessoms. I've been married now 35 years. You might yes. And I spent, we have, me and her pastored the church for 29 years. And so I retired about 1.5 years ago. Okay, and so I got out of pastoring. Now I love pastoring people. I really enjoy it for 29 years. Funerals and weddings and board meetings. Yes, I did. I really enjoyed my job. I really did. And but then after pastoring, I was looking at the issue of life coaching, because I felt like the people really needed that one-on-one small group settings. Okay, because sometimes you can get so much involved in church stuff until a lot of time it's not church stuff, but it's not God stuff.
That's right.
And you get lost in the system. Okay, so my job today is, I don't want to knock over anything, but I'm just doing it just to save a little voice. Okay, because after preaching, for 29 years, you lose a couple of things. Okay, especially in the black church. And so my final 10 years, I started whooping it out in the Lord, good way. And I said, and so I calmed down. And I said, God is good. Okay, so. Okay, so leader. What is the quality of a good leader? Well, the first thing is, yes. Okay, responsibility. Okay, yes. Okay, I got you. You know what? In fact, you have that in assessments too. That's my cousin. Yes, yes, listen. Okay, so leader is my position. It's my position, it is my title. Leader. Okay? But so when you are a leader, that means that you must be able to do what? Yeah, there you go. Must be able to lead, right? Because John Maxwell said, right, if you are leading people and nobody is following you, he said you are just taking a walk. That's it. And you know that you're a leader because if I give you an instruction and then you carry that instruction out, that made me the leader at that moment. You see, right? And so that's what the leader is. So then not only that, right, as a leader, right, but then also a good leader also is he or she is a feeder. He got to be a feeder. He got to be able to feed the people. Feed, right? So he must be able to lead, he must be able to feed, right? And then if he's going to be a good leader, he's going to lead where, if he's going to be a feeder, right? The thing is that also that the leader also must be led also. Every leader has to be led. Every leader needs a leader. Okay? And the leader not only must he lead, and not only must he feed others, but he also has to be fed. He has to be fed. Because a person who think he or she knows it all, right? Okay, that's a person that is full of pride. And that means that they've been around people, they know everything. And when you say something, you almost on pins and needles. You see some people and they walk in, and guess what happens? If a girl got it on, you on eggshells. You gotta be careful because I don't want to make him or her mad. That's not being comfortable, being at peace. Okay, so we say that a good leader then has to be able to lead others, and he also must be a feeder. And then another thing is that a good leader needs to be a good giver. Okay? All right, let me make a couple more points here then. Okay, since we're on that, let me go over to my notes, and so we'll wrap this up. Okay, well, so the first thing is then we move on now, leader, and we are leading in one type of position. Maxwell said you won't be good. Oh yeah. So who is the first person that you lead? You got to lead yourself. Because if you are not willing to lead yourself, why should you expect me to follow you? Right? And so when you follow somebody, that means that you have put your trust in their leadership, in that person, right? Okay? And so if I don't trust you, then that means, okay, in that word trust, there is the word rust, R-U-S-T. What happens? Our relationship, it begins to rust. There is a decay because something that you are doing, right, that's not registering with me and you as my leader, and then all of a sudden, right, so I don't trust you. Okay, and so you want to be able to be at your very best then as a good leader. So again, the first person that you lead is yourself. A leader, and so we move on now, okay? So then a leader must lead and he must feed, okay? Who also must be led and fed. That means he has an issue, he has this good virtue of being humble and humility. Okay? So when we deal with that issue there, right? Is that when you are humble, then that bursts out of you an ability to be able to change. See, you'll never change, right? If you don't see the need for change. Okay? Another point is that when you are humble, this is a good part of a good leader is being humble. right? That's the ability in him or her to be able to change too. Why? Well, I did something wrong and I need to change that. Because you cannot be correct when you're incorrect. Right? Have you been around some, you've been around some people and they leave and you say, and you confront them. And what happened? It make you feel like that you are the one wrong when, no, I caught you. No, that was wrong. One of my bosses, I was doing janitorial work, and so they paid everybody, right? And I worked overtime. And I was, 16, 17 years old. I was quiet on the job, right? And mainly because I was a stutterer. So I was quiet. Okay? So I'm on the job, and my boss, he actually shortchanged me 10 hours. 10 hours. And he thought, maybe they're so young, I won't say nothing. Well, I was a quiet guy. So what happened is, right, so I'm going to confront the boss. They're going to, ooh, it's bad. If something is mad, something is really wrong. But listen, I didn't get a chance to get him. Why? Because this lady husband came up there and punched me in his face with eyeglasses on. So if you don't change, then somebody got you gonna force you to do it. And I didn't help me force them to change this. Okay, move on, Cecil, move on. You got more time though, son. Okay, so the leadership then is more internal as opposed to external. Leadership is more of internal as opposed to external. As John Maxwell said, right, it is an inside job. And so what happened is that when I treat you well, if I'm your leader, if I treat you well, so what happens? That exposes who I am on the inside. It was Tiger Woods. They asked him a question. They asked me a question. So how do you do so well with all these championships? What makes you so great? Tiger Woods says that my public performance, right, it was birthed out of my private practice.
Okay.
He said, what you see me do in the public, it is the end result of what I was doing when I was by myself, when I was practicing by myself. He said he was on one golf course and there was one shot in particular, one hole in particular that was really tough. He said he practiced that shot over 1,000 times. And when it came to get in the game, what happened? He nailed it. 1,000 times on just one hole, one particular hole. And what's that? It is his private practice. You see, when you look at a person as far as their public life, your public life should be in compliance with your private life. But actually, what makes you great is not what you do publicly. Actually, what makes you great actually is what you do when you're by yourself. It's you. How do you deal with you when you were just with you? So he says, it is my private time. As well in the Bible, if you're going to go to the Bible, it goes like, he goes like, when you pray in secret, your Father in heaven will reward you openly. So he goes in and says, so you take some private time, you take that private practice. He says, what happened? And it's going to cause you to do great at serving people well. Okay? A person, a leader who do not like people, he doesn't like to hang around people, right? So that person loves to be alone by himself. We grow better when there is isolation as opposed to isolation. See, isolation, I'm by myself. Isolation is that I'm hugging you and you hugging me. Okay? A person who is alone basically hunts themselves. And a person who hunts themselves, here is the major problem with them. They may discover that after all their hunting, and they have discovered themselves, that they have hunted themselves, and come to find out that they be their own personal liability. So that's why it's good to be around good people and to be humble. So a good leader then, that's what he got to have. He has to be humble. So I'm almost done. Okay. And then the last thing is the issue of the leader, I believe, even as a pastor, as a husband, as a father, what I felt was with my sons, and my oldest son is 34, but I mean, youngest is 29. I felt the best I could do for my family and my sons was not to teach them verses of the Bible. Because I knew when I was a teenager, I would read the Bible either. But I felt like if I could live out in character, every sermon, every prayer, if I could live that out, then that would be the greatest gift I could give my sons and my wife. You see? And so what I did was I made sure that my wife and my kids were not in competition with the church. My wife and my kids were first. You see? And so as a good leader, the last word is love. L-O-V-E. Love. Love is this, is that you learn to listen. L stands for learning to listen. O is learn to overlook petty issues. See, this is a good leader. He learns to listen. He overlooks petty issues. He values the opinion of others. And then E is that he encourages others to excel. How do you become great? That's the big question. H-O-W. Last one. Here it is. H-O-W. Number one, be honest. Be honest. Number two, the O, right? Be open. Be transparent. And number three is the W, willing. Your willingness to reach out, it is a product of being humble. And that means I'm a leader, but I still need a leader. And that's what makes me great. Thank you so much.
How's everyone doing?
Great.
I'm Jeff Isom. I'm the Vice President of Sales and Training for New Kent. I'm a little worried to drop any more knowledge on you, to be honest, because you've been here for 2 days now, and I'm afraid that your minds are just so stuffed full of good stuff that maybe, nothing else might fit. And I'm going to try and share a little bit with you, hopefully that can be beneficial. I want to let you know you are in the right place with the right company right now. And Ken has been doing some exciting things the last couple of years with one point in mind, and that is to continue Mr. Masuda's mission, a mission of sharing health and wellness globally. And there are a lot of changes that are happening in our world today, and particularly in network marketing. I don't know if you're familiar with any other network marketing companies. Has anybody ever been involved with? Brody, did you do a network marketing company before Ken? First and only. Okay, first, last, best. But there's something that's really gotten popular the past 10 years. It's called a binary model. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
In a binary model, you have somebody and they sponsor 2 people, they sponsor 2 people, those 2 people sponsor 2 people. And these networks can grow pretty rapidly. But there's 2 problems with these kinds of networks. The first problem is they grow so rapidly that often it grows incredibly large, very fast. And what happens to all these people when the network grows quite large? What happens to all these people that are on the front lines of the tree? In terms of recruiting new people, is it as easy as when the tree first started, or is it more difficult? It's more difficult. And one of the other challenges is most of these companies don't have real retail prices. They really have one price, the wholesale price. And people sign up in order to get the wholesale price. Now, because there's no real retail price and retail customers, all these people, as the network gets bigger and bigger, adding the next person gets more difficult and more difficult. Well, if you're at the bottom and you can't sell the products or retail to customers, and it gets difficult to encourage one more person to come into the company, what starts happening to these folks at the bottom? They're not making money, are they going to stick around? And if these people stop making money, are they going to stick around? And what happens is just as quickly as the network grew, it can fall apart. And Nikken has been a company around for a long time, 42 years now. And we've made some changes the past couple of years that are really about the idea of sustainability. And Nikken is one of the very first companies that is making a transition into a hybrid model where real, legitimate retail prices allow people to not just bring others into the business who are doing the networking model with them, but also to bring in real customers. Now, if you have real customers, and if you can attract and find real customers, I love what Tony shared earlier today. The person who introduced this company to him, and I believe it was Gary Bolton, said that people like these products and they want to buy these products. And when you can find and attract real retail customers, and when you can have retail customers, what can happen for these people who maybe didn't get into the network as soon as some of the people at the top? What can these folks do? They can find customers. And if they can find customers, will they make money? Yeah, and they'll stick around. And then they can continue to build their own networks as well. It's much more sustainable. So Nikken's model, this hybrid model of being able to build a network but also have real legitimate customers has power. Because in most of these companies, you have to get 30, 40, 50 people into your network before you start making money. In Nikken, you can make money on day one. This is what's so exciting about it, and this is what's so ethical about Nikken, is people can start making money immediately. Shani Howard is a consultant that, whose organization is Shani? She's in Gary's. She's under you. Shani Howard used a product called duct tape, dual underlayer kinetic tape, great product, kinesio tape, with some great Nikken technologies in it. And she used this product and she started her business very simply. She was cutting 6-inch strips of duct tape. She would pass it out to friends and neighbors. They would try the tape. She had had such a great experience with her daughter using the duct tape, and she began her business. Shani Howard now has many, many customers. She started a small group, and she is making good money. And I believe her first month she made $800. Do you know what the amount was?
It was more than that.
I don't want to underestimate.
Yeah, she sold
6,000 to 8,000 worth of product. Now, because we have real retail prices, people earn a 20% commission on every single sale. Now, the exciting thing about this is when you marry that to network marketing, and you have a group of people who are doing just a little bit of retail, really exciting things can happen. Now, you've probably talked about this earlier during these 2 days, but Nikken recommends at a minimum, and certainly you can do more, and lots of consultants do, but at a minimum, do at least 500 points of retail sales each and every month. This is a great way to ensure that you have consistent income by doing that little bit. And when you're doing 500 and you train some others to do the same, you can create some pretty incredible results. I want to show you how easy it is to earn $500 a month using this model. By sponsoring just 3 consultants who also do 500 a month, and each of them, let's say they sponsor just 1 consultant. With this model of just 6 people in your organization, you and 6 others, and you're all doing a little bit of retail. You're using the power of retail. And let's say that you're a silver, you've already done your 6,000 in a 1 month or a 3-month period. As a silver, just doing 500 points yourself, and with 6 people doing 500 points, you would be earning $545 a month. This is with your retail profit and your group overrides, your personal rebate, everything is factored in. $545 a month. Does this look very complex? It's not. It's pretty simple. It's pretty easy. Do you know many people who could use an extra $545 a month? Car payment, half a mortgage. It's a decent amount of money with not many people in your organization. Now, if everybody in your group decided to up that, if everybody would commit to $1,000 a month, the profits just start going up with just a few people. So it's really exciting what can happen with Niken's hybrid model. It is something that's groundbreaking and revolutionary. One of the little dirty secrets that we don't like to talk about in the network marketing industry, that we sometimes just hide under the rug, is the fact that most people in network marketing do not make money. That's the reality. Most people do not make money. Niken is and has changed this by creating this hybrid model where retail sales is a real possibility. When we introduced a new pricing structure in the fall of 2015 and allowed for retail sales to be a real reality, directs, executives, and silvers across the board in the company saw 200 to 800% increases in their check. Across the company, directs, executives, silvers who hadn't made really good money previously, their checks went through the roof as a result of being able to attract customers and do real retail sales. It's pretty exciting what happens if these 3 people on your front line decide to duplicate what you've done, just duplicate this same structure. So if each of the people on your front line do the exact same thing, they each sponsor 3 people who have just 1 person. So you have a total of 21 people in your organization, all doing 500 points. With just 20 people in your organization doing 500 points, your check goes to $1,085, $1,000 a month. The cool thing is these 3 people are now earning $545. Are these people going to stick around in your organization if they're earning an income? Studies show in network marketing that people who are earning at least $150 a month tend to stick around. So the exciting thing now with the team, people on your front line who are earning money, you're earning money, you're creating a model for a business that's sustainable because people will stick around because they're earning income. So I'm very excited about Niken's hybrid model. We have a great future because we've made this commitment to not just tapping into the power of network marketing, which is very powerful, but also the power of retail sales and having customers. Tomorrow, we will be having our Becoming Your Best Self workshop. It's going to start at 8 a.m. and go to 3 p.m., and everyone is invited. If you attend and it's not life-changing, if you come tomorrow and it's not life-changing, I'm going to move in with you until your life changes. That's what will happen. I'm just going to move in, and we're going to have one-on-one time every single day until your life changes. That's the money-back guarantee. And I'll sleep outside. You don't even have to house me. I'll sleep outside. You do have to make me a sandwich, though. 1 a day. 1 sandwich is going to be the charge for that. But tomorrow we're going to have a great time. I hope you've enjoyed these 2 days thus far. You have just some amazing leaders that are here. Of course, we have Brody Craney, who's our Royal Diamond. We have Tony Collins, who's a Team Kaizen member. We have a lot of really fantastic platinums, golds, silvers here. So I hope you've enjoyed this time and the opportunity to be with members of the Niken family. So thank you very much. Let's enjoy the rest of the day.
We have a chart here of the compensation plan on a slide or anything like that? Nay. Okay. So, gotta use your imagination, folks. Imagine a staircase. On that staircase, we're gonna want to get to the top, okay? First step up, you gotta use the stuff. And it's really not a level in our compensation plan, but I think it's a really important level that I wish everybody on the planet had to experience. That's someone becoming a customer. How many NECAN customers do we have here? Listed as a NECAN registered customer. Go ahead and stand up. NECAN registered customers. NECAN registered customers, stand up. Just stand up where you're at. NECAN registered customers, stand up. How about giving this crew a huge hand of applause? You know, it takes a little bit of courage sometimes for someone to do something like that, put their name on a dotted line, order something they're not sure if it's going to work, and then keep putting it on. You know, I really, really, really am excited for those of you who brought customers here with you. Have you guys that have been here as customers had a good experience today?
Yes.
Yeah, really, really awesome. I'm glad that you came. So the next thing that happens is this, we have a really hard time at points keeping someone as a customer. And the reason for that is that they say, man, this stuff's so good, I want to share it with everybody. So they quickly leave the rank of customer and become a consultant with NECAN. Now to do that, to upgrade, is what we call become a direct, where you can have products ordered directly from the company, you can ship them anywhere that you want, and you can sell them to other folks. Now a direct, to become a direct, it's $99 to upgrade. That also gives you access to something that used to cost, I used to have to pay $350 a year for. That is all the access to all the information on the back webpage, plus your personal webpage to be able to go out to everybody. Plus now you get, instead of paying $249 for Humans Being More training, you get it for free. By the way, who's coming to Humans Being More training tomorrow? Fantastic, thank you. I mean, it's just, you get a lot when you get that $99 membership. And the training, after people say, man, they've got the courses that cost over $2,000 and it was much better. So the opportunity to plug in, you see right on the bottom, becoming a direct level consultant, has a lot that comes with it, plus all the information that's found on the back website, plus you've joined a really amazing family. So how many of you in the room are NECAN direct level consultants? Please stand. NECAN direct level consultants, please stand.
No, he's accepting.
Okay. And if you have a direct level consultant within the last year, please come on up. If you're a direct level consultant new within the last year, please come up. And I'd like you to just share your name, where you're from. Oh, she's like, get out of the line, get out of the line. Your name, where you're from, and in under 15 seconds, what caught your attention about NECAN?
My name is Hope John French. I'm from Raleigh. And, well, I heard about NECAN many, many years ago. And I've done most of them more things. But at the time, NECAN was out of reach. And since then, I've known that it was a good product. And when it came back around, it was introduced to me. I was like, it's my time.
Your hand.
I'm Patty Marr. I'm from Greenville, North Carolina, and what caught my attention the first time it worked for me, I had broken my butt doing a Jillian Michaels DVD, and I was in a lot of pain. And so somebody gave me the duct tape, and I'd been limping for 2 months, and it helped me to stop limping. And then Lauren and I are in a networking group together, and every week she had been, distributing the products, people had been buying it, and every week somebody had a testimonial about what they were using. And I thought, this stuff is something that I need to get in on, because it works. People are getting really excited about it. So.
what attracted you, and what your favorite experience has been thus far.
My name is Henrietta Thomas. I'm from Fredericksburg, Virginia. We've been in Virginia 30 years, retired military, been all over. And what attracted me, I think, with NECAN was through my brother and sister-in-law some years ago, maybe 15 or less, whatever. And I guess with health challenges with myself, my husband, after he retired and diagnosed with cirrhosis, and myself with breast cancer issues at the time. And so nutrition was my main thing that kicked in with Jay Green, things of that nature. And the sleep system, of course, was tremendous with my husband here, as you see, he's walking and what have you, some things advancing in that. And some other thing I wanted to share that the insoles, the magnetic insoles. So those are some of the things that really encouraged me and improved our lifestyle and our health.
Give her a huge hand.
I live here in Yorktown, Virginia. Really, when I discovered NECAN, it wasn't because I tried the products. I just found my sponsor, my upline, through an app, and I started talking to her, and she told me about NECAN. So I started looking at researching what these products do. Well, I did personal training for 25 years. Train people, try to help them to be healthier, help people to lose weight, and I help people also recovering from injuries or surgeries. And I always tell my husband, I feel like I'm not helping enough people. I only can help my clients. I want to help more people. So I became field director, general manager at the company I was working in. I still feel like I'm not helping enough people because my trainer didn't understand what I wanted to do. And naturally, I keep telling my clients, I want you to get off of the medicine. You know, we are going to stop the blood pressure medicine. We're going to get better nutrition. And when I found NECAN, I said, this is what I've been looking all my life. This is all together in one thing. So I'm super excited. I'm passing this. I'm trying with my family, all the products. I see results with my husband, knee pain. I mean, my kids love the water. And we've been using the tape, fixing people, helping people, and people get amazed. And I really love that I can, now I will be able to reach more.
Wow.
Good afternoon. I'm Aisha Ackham from Richmond, just up the road. What attracted me to NECAN? My children are patients of Dr. Caldwell that you heard speak earlier. We started there probably within the first year of her opening her own practice, as she mentioned. And so along the way, she's just mentioned different things, magnets being one at the beginning. I remember probably about 8 years ago when I came in for something abnormal for my kids. She did what she did medically, and she says, okay, when you go home, put magnets on, their just to help with breathing, just to help the process go faster. And to explain to me why NECAN was great, but she said, take refrigerator magnets, just whatever. And so it kind of intrigued me, but get busy in life, and it was in the back of my head, this mattress thing that she mentioned, and I looked it up. Oh, yeah, not today. Don't have the money, And so it's been a long time, even though it's been an intent of mine. But recent, I guess, right at the beginning of the year, when I went in with the issue of one particular child, I was asking her about it, and any other doctor would have probably gone toward medication. And she says, okay, first thing, we just need to make sure we have the basics, the baseline straight. And in the course of, so she's talking water and air, and and I said, yeah, that thing, I've been meaning to look into it. And I went to the Thorntons to hear a little bit more. One child in particular had in mind, and that is when it all clicked. Like, why didn't I pursue this 10 years ago? And on my way home that night, I literally had this mental list of about 25 people that they gotta hear this, they got swollen this or hurting that, and X, Y, and Z. And so I was like, if I'm gonna share it with them, then I get involved myself. So that's something slow and steady, but that's something I'm doing.
Excellent.
And I was introduced to Lincoln through classmates. And the way that was the first thing I used. I had operation of my own. They only had twice. And nerves was pinched in it, and I used that. My hand used to be like this. So now I use it, and I love the product. That's about everything. And I was kind of slow moving up, but I'm getting. Amen.
Was that not a great talk he gave? You were there.
And I will close with this, and I concur. And that's my friend. That's my friend over here. She's the one that got me involved. Actually, what happened was I was hosting a health and wellness clinic.
That's it.
And that was in my office, and that was with Deanna Wilson. And from that, she brought about 100 people that was there to my site. And from that, I was talking to Shirley, I met her, and from that, when I saw her energy, saw her brightness, that would attract me to meet her. So I saw the product, etc.
Silver, and this is where life begins. I know you think it begins when you first get your product, but life begins at silver. Becoming silver is when it's learning how to make a brick. Learning how to make a brick. And once you know how to make a brick, you can make a whole bunch of bricks and build a whole castle, right? First you have to learn how to make that first brick, and that's you going silver. So silver is 6,000 points that are combined over a 3-month period. You can do 2,000 in 1 month, 1,000 in the next, 3,000 in the next, however you want to do that. But they're all combined, and those are add up to creating that silver position. You've maximized your overrides and your rebates at 20%, plus you're eligible to begin earning leadership bonuses as your organization expands. Silver is this is where you want to get quickly. Now I have people that get involved with me, Ken, just to get silver really quick so they can have the best, if you will, rebates for their products or forever. But this is the point, this is you're looking for people who say, I want to get this done. And if you're looking at this chart, okay, and you're going on a long journey, you might need a pit stop, right? Place to fill up some gas, go in, get a refreshment, get a little meal, something like that. So that's what silver is. It's the first thing you know you're going to get to at least there. Okay, get silver done. But now this is not a long-term destination. This is a place you just fill up with gas and go on to the next spot. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
So I want to celebrate in a huge way the silvers that we have in the room, because this is the first destination. This is that first major rung up the step that you want if you're going to build a business. You're going to know how to get silver done because everything else is built upon teaching other people how to what? Get silver done. Now, let me clarify in there. Silver is the point where we maximize our profits. And when you maximize your profits, you maximize someone's stickability. Does that make sense? With our current compensation plan, you could actually have a whole crew of people that are directs and executive and so forth. You don't have to have people that reach that level. But it is the level we call the first leadership level, where you have gotten yourself to a point where you've learned enough skills that you're probably going to be able to begin duplicating. Making sense? Yes. All right. Kathy, where are you from?
I'm from Danville, Virginia.
What attracted you to me, Ken?
My daughter, through my granddaughter's progress, she had some amazing results over the last couple of years, and she called me last November to try to introduce me to something I already knew about, but the technology had had such a profound effect on her. So she had a stroke before she was born, and she has cerebral palsy. She's nonverbal. She's in a wheelchair, but she wants to walk and she wants to talk, and I think she's going to make it. Yes, I really do. She's insane. I get so emotional because this is so real to me.
But my daughter put a necklace on her, thanks to Kimball, and she began to type words on her iPad. First word I think she typed was lunch. And they said, well, what do you want for lunch? Chicken or hamburger? And she chose chicken. The next thing she typed was lunch, chicken. And then she began to type sentences. And on her iPad, she watched all kinds of movies and she learned to cut her closed captioning on. That taught her to spell. And she went from typing words to sentences to paragraphs. And now she types stories. And stories within stories. And she'll text her dad or she'll text her mom. And she just reaches out. She's become quite independent. She has an electric chair. They called from school on Friday, which is one reason my daughter isn't here. She's my CN mama. We've reversed roles. And Caitlin had decided to leave school. And she took off in her chair. Now, I don't think she made it out of the door. But when they called her mama, they had put her on lockdown, which meant they locked her wheels so she couldn't roll. And she's a 15-year-old, and I think she's becoming more of a 15-year-old as she uses these products. She's on the sleep system. She drinks the water. She has the necklace. She wears the insoles. She's just a phenomenal teenager. And more than that, she's got a phenomenal mama. And one of my biggest benefits of doing this, if you're an empty nester and you see less and less of your children because they're so busy with life, become their down line. You'll get to hear them very often.
So to go silver, you can't do it alone. You have to involve other people in the process. You have to have at least 2 other people who plugged on board. Can you tell us about anybody you've introduced Nikan to?
Yes, I think I have 4, is that right, in my downline. The people, my mom's very best friend became very interested. I lost my mom in 2008, but the thing they had in common is they love to help people. And she just fell right into this because she wants to help people. And then I have a dear friend that I was in a Bible study with, and she's a massage therapist. And I called her one day. I said, you know, I was thinking about coming over to Martinsville, and let's do an event. And she said, well, that'd be fine, because I was thinking about signing up. I went, okay. I found myself making a mess, just like you were talking about. I was just anywhere and everywhere I went, it was just happening. And I went down to Florida, didn't plan to go, but ended up, we thought we were going to need, I didn't want my daughter to ride alone. I rode with her to Florida to Orlando and went in and Dr.
What happened in Orlando?
What was the event called? It was
Now you see me.
Now You See Me.
Nikan Field Convention.
Nikan Field Convention. Greg Nelson was there, and I got to meet him. He's kind of my great-grandpa, Nikan. And he said, oh, you're getting ready to go silver this month. And it was April 27th, and I had 1 recruit, and I said, sure. I mean, we've got plenty of time. This is the 27th. I have till the 30th. Well, at 10:30 on Saturday night, the 29th, my mom's best friend called on the phone down to Florida and said, you know, I'm thinking about doing this. I just handed the phone to my daughter Jackie because I didn't know what to say. I was just so dumbfounded. I had made a mess. I'd gotten people interested and didn't even know how to follow through and or how to teach them about anything. And so I sent them to pathfinders.com. I sent them to the back office and I say, watch a video a day and you will learn, because I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't have enough, but I was out there. And I love those phone calls every week from my daughter, so I'm going to be as active as I can.
You mentioned Kimball's name here. Did the sergeants have anything to do with this process at all?
Well, if you count extreme support, invitations to everything they're doing, to show up and to just learn and to be there. And then when you're doing something, and she comes every single month to Danville, and we have an event at lunchtime in a restaurant,
And then that night, we traveled 30 miles over to Martinsville, and we had another event that night. And every month since March, she's been coming, and we have an event. And they have been so supportive. You know, Jackie could not be here, and it was the last minute kind of thing, and she was going to be driving to Danville, spending the night, and we were driving up here. And when Kimball found out my daughter wasn't coming, she and Jeff came to Danville and picked me up to make sure I could get here. And I really appreciate that. There's a lot of love and support that goes with it.
I do Deacon because I think God put me here on this earth to empower others to live their best lives. And everything I've ever done has been about that. And when I found Deacon, that's what it was. And that's what this business is to me.
Excellent.
Basically, you know, to help people, I was in there's a way to help people. I had a lot of chronic problems. I had a lot of chronic health problems, and she said it was a way to help myself, but help others, and there was a business involved. And I said, oh, that's perfect. I'll do it.
Randy Rolfe from Philadelphia, and the possibility of changing the world with the health technologies of making.
You heard my story. It was to help my dad and then to be able to be free.
Again, wrapping up, my story is, well, we don't have any other diamonds here. Yes, we do. Okay, stand up, please. Please, please. Come on up, come on up. Sorry about that. Go ahead and share why we can.
When we came, for two reasons. I came to Niken for a certain purpose. I lost my husband many years ago. I lost my husband many years ago. It was a sudden tragic death. And I wanted something to heal myself. And I took the challenge of I use Niken to heal myself. And you know what? It works. It works. It's not what I did, but it's what I have become. And that pumped me. You focus it, and I got it. I achieved it. Secondly, it's really true. When Weekend gets to you, you get involved with Weekend, and it really gets to you. Because I have only two passions in life. I have one passion in life. It's loving God. It's my loving God. And in loving God, I'm serving others. And the best use of my life is serving others for God. And in Weekend, I can serve God as a nurse and the spirituality in all the pillars of health. And there's no other company that provides total body wellness, rejuvenation of the body. And then Weekend has the products and the means to help you attain that life. Thank you.
These two have been busy beavers over the last 6 months and have created some really wonderful activity. They have how many new silvers?
We've got 2 front line and 1 below. And actually, her upline went silver before she did. We didn't do it all at once.
So created 3 new silvers.
Yes.
Excellent. Would you say that just happened out of chance, or did you actually decide something was going to happen?
Well, the decision was made last October, and I have a medical counseling practice, and I decided in October that I had to get out. And it just had to be. And I went to convention, and they had all the new products, and I came back and I said, we're going to do this. And I sent out letters to everyone in my downline, and that was when I contacted Jackie, and Jackie contacted me. And we did, like 6 or 7 launches. This is the best time of the year to ever do Nick. It's always been the best for us. So Jackie started on that civil path. But then in January, they announced that there was going to be a trip to Japan. And we're going. And it was, that's exactly what's going to happen. And so we just revved up from there. When Jackie got to silver, then we had a new gal that had signed on in January, and she started working. She'd be here today, but she's in the hospital back in Raleigh. She's got some health issues. And the day that we went gold was very interesting because we we were working some things, and she had some products she could sell, Barbara did, but we needed for Barbara to go silver the same month that you went silver, Kathy. And, Kathy had said to me before we went to Florida, she said, well, I'm not going to make it. And I was like, oh, because we went silver in April, so it would have been kind of cool to do it again. And we walked into Humans Being More on Sunday morning after the conference, and Jackie walked up to me and she said, you didn't get the text, did you? And she said, no, she says, Mom's going silver today. So then I dashed out and called Barbara and I said, it's time to roll. And so I didn't really get a lot out of that Humans Being More because we were in and out of the office and doing, and you can't even imagine all the things that could possibly go wrong. They did, but it didn't matter. Because at midnight, all those orders were in, and we were gold, and now we are working, and I'm pretty sure Hope is going to be our next silver, and I'm looking for one more. I'm hoping that Lauren is going to be silver, and we want all of this wrapped up before we go to Texas.
Sweet. How? Do you think it'd be really cool for them to go to Japan? Would that be a cool thing? Yeah. Do you think it'd be cool to have a live? That'd be a good thing. Now, is there anybody who decides to get involved with NECAN right here, right now? NECAN would love to buy you a trip, full expense paid, to Japan. All the hotels, all the food, all that kind of stuff. And what you do, you get involved, sign up, go make a big mess. While you're making a big mess, look for 4 people who would like to help other people and help them make a big mess. Okay, 4 people you take to silver before the end of this year. Just 4. Who are they going to be? Do 500 points each and every month, like Jeff was talking about. Never miss that of your own personal group. And you can go to Japan, and you'd be gold before the end of the year. Somebody in this room is going to do it. Will be you.
Yes, we're going. And all of you need to come with us because we're going to have a really good time. And do what my husband did. My husband never would eat sushi, and he has started eating sushi, so he will enjoy it in Japan. There are lots and lots and lots and lots of hours that go into this. And this was Jean and Dennis's dream to do this. And this is the 4th year that we have done it. And these 2 people work tirelessly and put in so many hours. And every year, I think it can't get any better, and it does. And so this is something that we all wanted to give you all and just let you know how much we appreciate the heart of NECAN, which you all show in doing this.
It has been a pleasure for us to do this. I tell you, it has, I don't know about the tirelessly. I think it's more like tiringly, but it has been a delightful experience. The part that makes it good is you. Because when we get to see all of you and just share your enthusiasm, it's beautiful for us. So we thank each of you for coming. And I have some thanks to say. There are several people who didn't get any credit for all the work they did, but one is Bernard. I tell you, that man stayed out there and worked that registration desk, so organized, and he got the work done. And so Bernard deserves that.
Many of you have thought as you have listened that, wow, I'm going to step up my game. I'm going to get to silver, I'm going to get to gold, I'm going to get to platinum, whatever it is, maybe diamond, maybe royal diamond. I'm going to do it this week and this month, this year, whatever it is. Who here's got a little bit excited while you've been here? Okay, you have some great things. But I'm going to tell you that tomorrow, maybe not tomorrow, maybe it's the next day, maybe it's your sister-in-law or brother-in-law that's going to say, you're doing what? And then pretty soon that little voice, the little red devil, is going to start asking, who do you think you are? There's no way you can do this. You have too many other obligations, blah, 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 blah. Anybody ever have a little devil on their shoulder? Yeah, it's inside my head, screaming a lot. There's another one that whispers, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. But sometimes, who here would like to drown out the little red devil? Anybody?
Yeah.
Okay, write this down on your piece of paper. When those voices of doubt and frustration or whatever it is come to your mind, calm yourself and realize that happens to everybody. Forgive yourself, that happens to everybody. But you need to realize that if you want to be, you can be in charge of your mind. You can be in charge of those voices. But you have to know what it is you're going to put in your head. And I was taught one very simple affirmation or guiding question when I got started in my very first training. And it has guided me a long way. It's nothing majorly profound, but a simple question you can ask yourself when those voices of doubt are there. You can just simply say, stop, cancel, reprogram. You might want to write that down. You don't have to say that in your head, but you can. Stop. I'm not going to let those crazy thoughts get in my head. Cancel, reprogram. And the thing that you can put in its place, what am I going to do today to become the royal diamond that I am? What am I going to do today to become the royal diamond that I am? What one step can I do to step forward? I know there's stuff going on, and this stuff will keep coming, and it's going to rain, and it's going to do this, and life is going to happen. But what one thing can I do today? What am I going to do today to become the royal diamond that I am? And just let that move you forward. Some of you may think, well, I can't do this because I'm not good enough, I'm not tall enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm whatever it is. Forgive yourself for whatever it is that's holding you back. Give yourself a big hug. Sometimes we have to also forgive others who we think are holding us back in our life, who maybe have wronged us in some way. But forgiveness is a really healing thing that goes a whole heck of a long way. Forgive yourself for maybe the failures you've had in the past. Forgive yourself for whatever it is that holds you. Forgive it, accept it, move on. Understood? So, what am I doing today to become the royal diamond that I am? Add a little forgiveness, sprinkle it with forgiveness. And then I'm going to simplify this whole thing. You know, sometimes even doing 500 a month can feel overwhelming. Anybody think, wow, how am I going to move 500 a month, you know? I want to simplify this crazy thing. Some people talk about, well, I'm going to make a big, huge mess. You've heard that today? Sometimes that can sound overwhelming. But let's say you're not able to make a mess. I'm going to encourage you to make a mess right here, right now. But let's say you can't. Let's say your life is a little bit overwhelmed at the moment. What if all you could do throughout the course of a year is find one person? What if you could touch one person's life this year? Anybody think that you could touch one person's life this year, make their life better because of these technologies, and they got excited enough that they would commit, that they would move 100 points worth of Nikken commissionable volume each and every month? How many think you find one, or just one in a year that say, you know what, this stuff's amazing, the world's got to have it. I'm going to make sure that at least 100 points of commissionable volume have been moved through my ID each and every month. I'm going to touch lives that way. How many of you, raise your hand if you think in your craziest lives, you can find one other person this year. All in favor say aye? Aye. All right. Now, they have to commit to one other thing, and you have to commit to one other thing. They commit to 100 points, and they commit that the next year, that you and them will each find one other person. Do you think that in a matter of 2 years, you can find 2 people to recruit to your team? Is that possible? Yeah. Now, after 2 years, you've got 4 people on board. After 3 years, you have 8 people on board. After 4 years, you have 16, and then 32, and then 64, et cetera, et cetera. And after 12 years, you have 4,096 people on your team, each committed to 100 points, and you have a $24,000 monthly income. Anybody in the room, would extra $24,000 a month make a difference in your standard of living? All in favor say aye. Aye. Would that be intriguing? Yeah. And was that too much to ask to just find one person in a year to make that happen? No. And so you say, well, I don't want to wait 12 years. Who wants to wait 12 years for that to happen? Anybody want it sooner? Yeah. Well, then let's up your game. Find one person every 6 months. Now, is that too rough? No. And in 6 years, $24,000 a month. Does that sound doable, folks? It's beyond doable. One person every 6, just find one. They're committed to moving 100 points. And the company would like us to do at least 500. That's what their incentives are around. But let's say that's a little bit too much for someone. Let's say all they can do is 100. And they just keep doing it. And just a little bit, a little bit. A little one step each day. What if you don't want to wait 6 years to have it happen? What if you'd like to see that happen within 3 years? Every 3 months, find one new person. How many can find 4 new people this year? Just 4. And if you want to really up it, get it done within a year, find one a month. What am I going to do today to become the royal diamond that I am? What am I going to do today to become the royal diamond that I am? Before you leave, before you make it home, before you go to bed tonight, before you lay your head in the pillow, I hope you'll go through your notes and figure out which nuggets you're going to take in these 2 amazing days to plug in for the benefit of your own life. There's some people who've made some pretty amazing. I want a huge hand for all of our speakers. I hope so that their time will not be in vain, and so that your time in here will not be in vain. That you will take that time and pick up 2 or 3 nuggets from this event that you will commit to implementing in your own life, so that these 2 days can be a big vehicle and an instrument for change for you. Thank you.